I just couldn't let it go. Okay, I can't let it go because look, y'all don't understand. Typically, I'm not a big fan of reboots unless I know who the director is, or I know who the actors are going to be in it, or I just have a generally good feeling about the trailer, and it gives me hope that they're going to do a good job on it. This one, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I seriously could not get it out of my mind. As I kept thinking about it and kept thinking about the scenes that I had witnessed, it just kept pissing me off more and more. So yes, I'm making a part 2 to this catastrophe of a fucking trailer so I can explain piece by piece why it bothers me. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying what I think, and if you don't agree, you are more than welcome to disagree. You are welcome to your own opinion, but this is what I think because I'm a huge Goosebumps fan. Huge! Massive! Huge, massive, huge. Okay? So, yes, we're gonna pick this fucking thing apart. All 2 minutes and 46 or 30 seconds of it, because it stops like 16 seconds before the end to put like ads and shit. So we're gonna analyze the whole thing, little by little, and I'll tell you exactly what fucking bothers me. Okay? Let's get to it.
Mom, are you positive that there weren't any other places looking for vice principals?
You promise you'll give it a shot?
I promise. And I looked into it legally. I can't rely on it until I'm 18.
Okay, first thing that bothers me that I've already mentioned in the other video is the boring, crappy, overdone, overplayed, overused cliche of family, usually like a mom and son, or like the dad's out of the picture because dads always have to be like the bums, or like the family's divorced and the dad's out of the picture and dad's like paying child support or some shit. Same typical boring bullshit. Like, why can't we just have like a nice happy nuclear family? It doesn't have to be a husband and a wife. It can be a wife and a wife. That'd be fucking great if we could finally have a fucking movie with like lesbian moms or gay dads, or like pansexual mom, and just anything, fucking anything, okay? Anything other than this boring bullshit that they always use, where it's just like the one parent and the kid, and one of them is not in the picture. Or like the single dad who's like working really hard, but you know, he's not there in his kid's life because he's just working so hard, and it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, why can't we just you know why this bothers me more? Because we have seen that families that are not the conventional, like, typical boring bullshit can do really well. Like, one of my favorite animated movies is Lilo and Stitch. And the reason why I like it, one of the many reasons why I like it, is because you have an older sister and a baby sister. And that's the dynamic. It's an older sister who now has to take on the mantle of both mother and father for Lilo. You know what I mean? Like, she has to be both. Why can't we have more of that? Why does it always have to be this boring dynamic? So, whatever. Moving on.
So, you're the new neighbor?
Yeah, I'm Zach, by the way.
I'm Hannah.
Get away from the window now.
I gotta go.
Hi. Hey, we're just moving in.
You see that fence?
Yes.
Stay on your side of it.
Okay, so apparently Jack Black is indeed supposed to be R.L. Stine. You know how I feel about that. Not on your life would I ever buy that Jack Black is R.L. Stine. No, no, no. Okay, no. And again, this plays into the whole, like, I would have so preferred, and I'm going to sound like a total feminist or whatever, but hear me out, okay? I would have much preferred if it had been a woman. Switch it up a little bit. Like, we've forgotten that Mary Shelley, the woman who wrote Frankenstein, was pretty much the mother of science fiction. Hello? Why couldn't we, like, you know, be a little more original with this shit? Why did it have to be fucking Jack Black? Whatever your opinions are of Jack Black, if you think he's funny or whatever, that's inconsequential. You're welcome to whatever opinion you want about Jack Black. But him as R.L. Stine, I just do not buy it. No way. Not even a little bit. No. And again, what's with him being a total dick? I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure the reasons will manifest themselves in the movie. Like maybe he's doing it to be protective of his secrets or the books or whatever. Fine. But again, why be a dick? I mean, I think a more interesting story would have been the normal, friendly neighbors who were like, hey, how are you doing? You know, and use it as a front for a cover-up, you know? Be incognito. This whole shadowy thing only makes people more curious to want to find out, what are you hiding? What is going on in that house that you don't want other people to find out? You know what I mean? And it's all the more terrifying when you see those neighbors or you hear about those stories of people who were like humanitarian of the year, and then they had this dark, horrible secret that you were like, oh my god, I never would have suspected that. That would have been much more fucking interesting than... Okay, never mind. Let's move on to the next part.
He's a big teddy bear.
Don't take it personally. He doesn't really like anyone.
He doesn't really like anyone. No, he's just being a dick. Okay, he's being a dick.
Oh, Hannah's in trouble.
Oh, who's...
That just... Let me rewind.
Hannah's in trouble.
Oh, who's Hannah?
Who the fuck wrote this script? It is so tone deaf. How do you fucking go from the kid saying Hannah's in trouble to the mom saying, ooh, who's Hannah? Do you really think that is the appropriate moment to be saying that shit? No, it is not. You know what her reaction should be? Who's Hannah? What's going on? What can I do? Do we need to call the police? That is an appropriate fucking reaction, not this bullshit.
Hannah's in trouble.
Oh, who's Hannah?
She's
Who the fuck wrote this script? I want to slap them in the face and like tell them, what are you doing? This is incoherent, non sequitur. This is not the way real people fucking react. If I was still living with my mom and I went up to my mom and I said, Susie's in trouble, she would not say, oh, who's Susie? Or if I went up to her and said, oh, Tom is in trouble, she wouldn't say, oh, who's Tom? No, she'd be like, ¿Qué pasó? What's going on? Do I have to call the police? What's going on? Are you okay? Is Tom okay? That's a real reaction. You do not react to someone telling you that another person is in trouble by acting like it's their girlfriend. Tone deaf. Tone deaf.
locked in this house, and her dad's a psychopath.
Again, psychopath. Why? Excuse me. I shouldn't have said it out loud. But still, again, like, can we please erase this fucking language? Okay? First of all, he has given no indication, Jack Black has given no indication that he is that. Alright? So the use of that word is unnecessary. You could have just said he's a jerk or an ass or whatever you want to say in a PG movie that I'm guessing this is going to be PG because it's for kids. You know? But there's so many, there's a plethora of beautiful, amazing words that could have been used in place of that because Jack Black has given no indication that he is mentally ill. Okay? None. None whatsoever.
She's a psychopath.
Let me hear it again.
She's locked in this house, and her dad's a psychopath.
She's locked in this house, and her dad is a blank. Like, what? How the f do you get to that conclusion? Because the only indication we get from the trailer, maybe there's more in the movie, and I'm assuming there's going to be, but the only indication we get in the trailer is the fact that he was a dick to him once and told him, stay away from my daughter. Like, okay, first of all, the overprotective dad thing, I'm so sick of that shit too. Like, what, she can't go out and have friends? Get the f out of here. And second of all, the only thing he's done is been a dick to him for 5 seconds. But that apparently means mental illness. Like, next.
Does she have a friend?
Does she have a friend? Again, completely tone deaf. Tone deaf. Who the f wrote this script? Fire them. They don't know how to write a story to save their lives. Breaking and entering.
Abominable snowman past.
Why are they breaking into this person's house? Why? Why? What reason do they have? Why? Because the guy was a dick to him for 5 seconds and the girl says, oh, don't worry about my dad, he just doesn't like people? What fucking reason could they possibly have to break into this house? Why? They don't have adult supervision. There's nobody else in the neighborhood. There's nobody who saw this shit. None of the neighbors are paying attention to what the fuck is going on to their neighbors' houses. Nobody saw them go in what looks like the front door. Maybe it's the door in the back. But even so, nobody saw them jump a fence. Get the fuck out of here.
Dina, these are all Goosebumps manuscripts. Why are these books locked?
Did you unlock a book?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll put it back where it belongs. Look, here it is.
No, don't open it!
No, don't open it. And the first thing he does is instead of grab it from the side like any fucking normal, typical person would do. He lifts it up from the fucking cover like a dingbat so that it opens. Who the fuck grabs a book from the top cover and then just lets it dangle like it's a dead fish? Like, what? Just what? What? And like I mentioned in the other video, I have a huge problem with it being books that they've opened like a Pandora's box. Cliche again. This is like they should have called this movie Cliche Bumps. Seriously. I am not gonna lie. That abominable snowman is fucking cool as hell. But I have a feeling that that's gonna be the only good thing in this movie. Because so far, the acting is subpar, the writing is shit, and the story makes no fucking sense. So far, the only good thing that I've seen in this movie that would make me even want to pay the $10 or $12 it costs for a movie ticket is the special effects. And that's really fucking bad. Because for me, if I'm going to pay that much money for a movie ticket, you better entertain the fuck out of me, not just with the special effects, but with an interesting story. If there's no interesting story, your movie sucks. That's it. I'm sorry. Because you need some meat, some content. You can't just skate by on good graphics, all right? They always, this is, I said this with the other reaction video, they always have to have that one fucking character who does the exact opposite of what any logical person would do. I mean, I think, if she's saying, don't make a sound, why the fuck does he immediately scream? Why? For the sake of the joke, like, oh, it's so funny, oh, he's such a coward, ha ha ha, he, don't scream, don't make any noises. Like,
Formidable snowman just crawled out of a book. That doesn't just happen.
that doesn't just happen, except it just fucking did. So maybe get a grip on reality, because this is your life now. That doesn't just happen. Yeah, it just fucking happened.
You just released every monster I've ever created. What was that? It's the
You've just released every monster I've ever created. I'm sorry. When the fuck did R.L. Stine create the Abominable Snowman? Because if my memory serves correctly, that lore has existed for a long fucking time. Long before R.L. Stine was even born. So...
invisible boy. Ow! He's such a cracker.
Oh, he's such a crack up.
The only way to stop them is to suck them back.
Again, that scene looks fucking cool. But as I mentioned, your movie can't just skate by on good graphics. I mean, look at pixels. Just saying.
The only way to stop them is to suck them back into the books.
Suck them back into the books. You know, now that I think about it, if these books are so fucking dangerous, if even the mere thought of opening them is what opens up this portal to some other dimension where these fucking creatures come out, why are they just sitting in what appears to be a study in the main part of the house for anyone to just walk up to who happens to visit the house and open up? Did they have any kind of security measures to make sure that no one broke into the house? Were they placed into like a panic room with like 20,000 locks, a security pad, eye recognition software, a thumbprint recognizer? I mean, if they're so fucking dangerous, if you don't want anyone, anywhere to fucking open them, why were they not better secured? I mean, a perfect example is that scene, and I hate Family Guy, but this is a good example, okay? Pay attention. And there's a scene in an episode of Family Guy where I think Peter Griffin is trying to get to his like porn material, and he goes through like this Mission Impossible 007 shit where he goes down an elevator and down through a long walkway, and he has all this security measure, and then he has to go through like 2 doors of security, and then he walks another long, it's just on and on and on and on and on, and then he has the fucking like one porn magazine sitting on a pedestal in the middle of this huge empty room. And like, I just found it so funny because it's like, okay, come on, that's ridiculous. But that, if you really don't want something to be found, why don't you put more security measures on it? Why is it just sitting out there? I mean, you can't just expect that no one's ever going to break into your house, that no one's going to be curious about you being secretive and maybe hiding in your house all the time and not letting your kid talk to the neighbors. Like,
You read them all, right?
Yeah.
If we know the weaknesses, we can capture them all.
We're the only
we can capture them all. What the f*** is this, Pokemon?
ones who can do this. Oh my god, how'd you do that?
Store fillings. I have a ton of.
Okay, again, another fucking problem I have. Extremely conventionally beautiful blonde white girl is suddenly like so impressed with the nerdy geeky guy because he just happened to have silver fillings. Wow, what a fucking coincidence. That makes him the hero for half a second, and look at her face.
Cavities when I was 10. I did.
She looks at him like he's the next coming of the Messiah just because he was smart enough to bite the werewolf with his silver teeth. Great. Wow, amazing. And yeah, I sound like a feminist. I don't give a
All right, everyone, find anything you can to barricade the doors.
Do not let the monsters inside.
Find anything you can to barricade the doors, but don't let the monsters inside. Why did that even need to be stated? I mean, isn't that the whole fucking point of barricading yourselves inside a goddamn building so that the monsters don't get you? Why did that even need to be written into the script? I could have written it a little bit better. How about you say, we need to keep the monsters out at all costs? That would have made a lot more sense. But keep the monsters out. No fucking shit. That's the whole point of barricading yourselves, isn't it? You're barricading yourselves as, duh, protection.
I just wanna break the rules.
You know, that scene could have only been more cliche with a Wilhelm scream. That scene only would have been better if the werewolf had, like, grabbed Jack Black by the head and, like, tossed him across the fucking supermarket.
Come on, scaredy cat.
Come on, scaredy cat. That is not the way to write a strong female character. Try harder.
Gnomes? Maybe they're friendly. Oh, not.
Wow, they really went all out with animating those garden gnomes, man. I mean, look at that awesome animation right there. Hold up.
They're friendly. Oh, no.
Wow, it went from like, they literally, all they did was like stop motion animation. They had the eyebrows as they were originally, and then they like chipped them off, and then took another photograph of those gnomes with the eyebrows then glued on lower. Like, wow, good job. You couldn't even be arsed to, like, I don't know, animate at least that little portion there so that it looks like it's actually animating downwards. No, it just, I don't want them to be totally CGI. I'm actually glad that they're actual garden gnomes, like actual ceramic garden gnomes.
Oh, not friendly.
But just, I don't know.
Friendly. Definitely not friendly.
I take it back. They kind of are CGI in a bit. So, yeah. It looks like this movie is just 100% coasting on cliches, stereotypes, tropes, boring, overdone crap that we've seen a million times in other movies, when the Goosebumps franchise is just ripe for creativity. Okay, because that was one of the things that I loved about the Goosebumps books, was the creativity of the stories. But instead, we get basically the same boring shit with a Goosebumps label on it, a Goosebumps paint job, if you will. And I just needed to get that shit out because it was just, I kept thinking about it, and I just needed to get it the out. And who knows if I even, oh my god, it's 20 minutes long, this video so far. Just, I feel better though. I feel better. No, I'm not sponsored by Monster. But I feel better. I got that out. That was pissing me the off. It really was. So yeah. Now I am done bitching about this trailer. Peace.